Well, hello guys, I'm Miguel Sanchez back again with another new episode of the Book of Taleblocks. As you see, I'm recording this video right now because it has to be done. This is what I'm going to be recording before we head out to dinner at Urban Grub. So, yeah, I'm still here in Nashville. I got 13 days left before I return home to Miami. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, all the times I love just came to be. So yeah, are you ready? Good, here we go. If you haven't seen our previous episode, our previous installment of the Book of Taleblocks, where it was the Book of Taleblocks, Chapter 2, Ryan Block Hunt, I'll leave the link to it on the top of the screen. It was yesterday's episode, so definitely go check it out. I do this one episode, I do this one time, once a day, so you know the rest of the story. But anyways, enough of this, let's get right into the episode. Here we go. The Book of Taleblocks continues today with Chapter 3, Little Friends. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Oh, so little, we can't even decide what to do. So, yeah, let's beat it till we see him. Here we go. But first, credit goes to Infinite Sanity Pick on DVR. He was the one who created all of this. Couldn't have done it without him. Without him, this series wouldn't have been possible. So thank you for the creation of the series, Infinite Sanity Pick. Want to go check out his page? I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. So thank you, Infinite Sanity Pit. And one final thing, warning, Larry Blocks is the property of Lucy Animation Studios, Unlocked Limited, and the BBC, of course, is the British Broadcasting Corporation. No copyright infringement is intended. I own nothing. You have been warned. Oh my gosh. Getting into trouble here. Ouch, that's gonna hurt. Anyways, enough said, let's get right into the story. Sit back and enjoy the story, everyone. The Book of Taleblocks, the Book of Taleblocks. Chapter 3, Little Friends. Oh, thank goodness, all the right blocks have been found. Cinderella clapped the ends of her arms together in delight. You've got all your pages, right? After the right blocks all held up their pages, she turned to the Terrible Twos and asked, "Where did you put the book's cover?" "It's under my bed," asked Terrible Two Purple. "I'll go get it." As he left, Cinderella began to think about which Taleblocks should be found first. She quickly remembered that 5 of them were smaller than the others, and decided to make them the priority. After Terrible Two Purple brought out the book's cover, all the gathered pages were put inside, magically fitting back into place. We really need to find the smallest Taleblocks first," Cinderella instructed the villainous the number blocks. After informing the group of who needed to be found, the blocks split into 2 groups again, with the Terrible Twos in one group and Octonaughty being left with Sinister Six and Cinderella. Still wanting to keep her distance from him, Sinister Six made Octonaughty walk behind the 2 girls. Cinderella wished she'd give him a chance, but now was not the time to try bringing them together. They had some friends to find. Six. The Terrible Twos walked for a while, and eventually came to a part of Numberland that hadn't been visited for a long time. There was a large pile of red straw, orange wood, and yellow bricks here, which seemed vaguely familiar to the Twos. Then the pile started rustling, and a block's head poked out. "Who are you?" he asked. "Here to get you back to your book," answered Terrible Two Blue. The Taleblock got out of the pile, revealing his full body. He's made of 2 blocks, with his bottom block appearing to be made out of brick. He wore a straw hat with a twig sticking out of it, and while his face and legs were that of a pig, his arms and tail were that of a wolf. Great, I'm Little Pig, and I've got my pages right here." He held the papers up high, but then the wind tore them from his grasp and made them fly away. "No!" shouted Terrible Two Purple, not wanting any obstacles to prevent them from reaching their goal. They wanted to get this whole task over with so that they could get back to villainy as soon as possible. You get back here, you dumb pieces of paper!" Terrible Two Blue ran after the pages and was quickly joined by his twin and Little Pig. All 3 of them were determined to recover the pages before they could get lost or damaged. XXX. Meanwhile, a yellow block with green limbs and was wandering by himself. There wouldn't be anything remarkable about him, if not for the fact that a vine was growing on his body. He also carried a golden harp, and held onto it as tightly as possible, for it was his most precious treasure. Fearing that the inhabitants of this unfamiliar world would try to take his harp, he came up with a plan. he produced 3 magic beans, just the right amount to get him as high up as he needed to be. He tossed them onto the ground, and they instantaneously grew into a very tall beanstalk. The block climbed up this beanstalk with great skill and agility, as it was something he'd been doing for years. Once at the top, he sat and stared down at the land below him. There were so many places that he didn't recognize, and he clutched his harp tighter, hoping that this would all be over soon, and he'd be back in the book before long. XXX. On the ground below, Little Pig and the Terrible Twos had managed to catch all the pages just in time to see this great beanstalk grow within a few seconds. Let me guess. Jack and the Beanstalk? Asked the savvy Purple Mask 2. Yep, confirmed Little Pig. Oh boy, Jack's talk must have grown that thing to keep himself and his harp away from everybody else. He loves that thing too much. So, you're saying he's at the top of that beanstalk? Oh great, Terrible 2 Blue was about to start complaining about making such a huge climb, but then he got an idea. Hey, we haven't used our UFOs in a while. XXX. In the forest, the foliage was too dense for Adenaudi's group to see the beanstalk. Within these woods hid 3 Taleblocks, with one of them spying on the group. She was relieved to see Cinderella, but wary of who she was with, especially since one of them was wearing a witch's hat. Witches tend to be bad news in fairy tales. Nevertheless, she figured that if Cinderella showed no fear around them, she shouldn't either. So she walked up to Cinderella and was instantly greeted with a protective hug. Oh, Little Red, thank goodness you're okay, Cinderella exclaimed. Little Red was light red with a red hood and had the ears, paws, and tail of a wolf. I'm glad you're okay too, Cinderella, Little Red told her. But who are these two? Their names may be Adenaudi and Sinister Six, but they're here to help. I promise. Little Red narrowed her eyes. Why are they helping us exactly? The girl was as sharp as the fang that stuck out of her mouth, and Cinderella had to tell her the truth of what had happened. So two newts tore up our book, she growled, burying her sharp teeth. Why, you ought to they're working to fix their mistake, Cinderella assured her. Just give them a chance. Little Red pouted, but decided to show the group where the other 2 Taleblocks in these woods were hiding. When they were led to a small gingerbread cottage, they instantly knew who was inside. A green block with red gumdrop buttons and a peppermint in place of his right eye peeped out the window. Cinderella! He exclaimed in relief. And who are these guys? Another block came up to the window, this one being pink with marshmallow buttons and a peppermint in place of her left eye and a dark green witch's hat. They don't look trustworthy. We aren't, said Adenaudi. They then quickly followed up with, but you can trust us. This time, honest. But the twins, Hansel and Gretel, weren't convinced. Cinder's Red, better get inside before the witch tries to curse you, Hansel warned. Isn't your sister a witch? Sinister Six pointed to Gretel's hat. I'll bet I'm a better witch than you, Gretel challenged. I'm an adult. You're just a child. Sinister Six was getting angry at these kids' attitude. Adenaudi would have pointed out how Gretel was technically older than the number block who'd only been made last night, but he already made her angry enough times. Instead, he decided that the best option was to threaten the children. What else would one expect from a supervillain? If you don't get out of here right now, I'll eat your purple eyes! The twins were completely unfazed by this threat. We got an oven we can put you in, Hansel said casually. Cinderella glared at Adenaudi. You know, in some versions of me, the wicked stepsister's eyes are pecked out of birds. Don't make me summon the birds! It was at that moment that Adenaudi realized he had a very bad habit of saying things he shouldn't. He and Sinister Six both decided to leave Cinderella to deal with the kids, and they went back to the entrance of the nest. Once they were out of the woods, they spotted a very tall beanstalk in the distance. Now, No points for guessing which Taleblock made that, Citizen 6 snarked. Just then, Octonaughty saw two flying objects and instantly recognized them, despite their years of disuse. The Tabletooths are the UFOs. Again, I don't think this will end well. XXX. Little Pig was in the purple UFO, which was being piloted by the two wearing that color. The plan was for Jackstalk to hitch a ride back to the ground in the Blue Two's UFO. Jackstalk was terrified, but upon seeing the UFOs approaching, and just plain confused when he spotted Little Pig in one of them. Little Pig, what are you doing there? We're here to take you back down so you can put your pages back inside the book. Little Pig shouted to Jackstalk, just hop into the blue flying thingy. Jackstalk was about to do as he was told, but suddenly lost his grip on the golden harp, causing it to plummet down to the side of the beanstalk, completely letting go of his common sense. Jackstalk jumped after it. Are you being kidding me? Yelled Terrible 2 Blue as he dived after Jackstalk, managing to catch him in time. A dazed Jackstalk instantly stood up. My harp! Yeah. I'll go get it. As the UFO dove after the harp and caught it with a factor beam, Terrible 2 Blue made sure that the ride was as bumpy as possible for Jackstalk. When the UFOs landed in front of the Terrible 2's lair, Little Pig hopped out with no problem, but Jackstalk dizzily stumbled out, his head spinning from the flight. He barely even noticed when he was handed his harp and wound up fainting on the grass. Oh my gosh, is he alright? Asked a worried Little Pig. He'll be fine, said Terrible 2 Blue, stomping on Jackstalk's unconscious body for good measure. Soon, Octonaughty and Citizen 6 came up to the group. Wow, you haven't used these bad boys in years, Octonaughty mentioned, admiring the shine that the UFOs still had. We still got the hang of piloting them, Terrible 2 Purple boasted, and we got two of the Taleblocks we needed to get. Cinderella's busy little man. Hansel and Gretel, said Citizen 6. She then looked up at the sky and saw the sun beginning to set. Guess we'll continue the session tomorrow. And you know, I've noticed you don't rhyme as much as the other six, Octonaughty pointed out. Citizen 6 scoffed. You can't expect someone to do that all the time. Besides, that all six needs to rhyme. Dang it! 6. That night, the Rhymeblocks and Taleblocks realized that they couldn't sleep inside the book, as it wasn't complete. This caused them to guilt trip the villains into letting them stay in their lair, provide all the traps were deactivated, of course. As the other blocks began to settle in for the night, Twinkle wasn't feeling sleepy at all. She tended to stay up late and gaze at the stars, wishing she was up above the world so high with them. Cinderella watched her find a hill to sit on and stargaze, then looked over Octonaughty and Citizen 6. They were keeping a distance from each other, and Cinderella decided to do something about it. She grabbed them both by the arm, ignoring their protests. You guys seriously need to talk to each other, she told them. You might actually connect. Citizen 6 didn't want to even be near Octonaughty, but Cinderella's insistence made her cave in. The Taleblock claimed that she'd leave them alone, then discreetly hid behind some foliage to spy on them. So, what do you want to talk about? Octonaughty asked, figuring it was best to let her start the conversation. I don't know, Citizen 6 said awkwardly. Then she got an idea. Can you tell me about your past? Oof, this was going to be rough. I was created by 4 terrible twos. He started wisely skipping the part about him falling into a giant pie. I've many battles with Taleblocks since then. And since you don't seem to be really number man, I'm assuming you lost all of them, said a smirking Citizen 6. Octonaughty slumped in defeat. Looks like nothing gets past you. What's the most interesting thing that's ever happened to you? Asked Citizen 6. It was then that Octonaughty had decided to talk about something he'd known would eventually have to be addressed. A few months ago, A block named Darkness came to me. He offered me great power and told me that he'd help me take over both this world and the world of humans. However, this was just a trick to make me into his blood. He corrupted me into being called Dark Naughty. Sinister Six listened attentively as the entire tale was recounted. She hadn't expected to feel sorry for Atenai, but losing control of yourself and being forced to submit to a greater evil had clearly taken a toll on him. Even if he was good at hiding his scars. I'm so sorry, she said after he was finished. I hope Darkness doesn't try something like that again. Me too. Atenai had gotten a blank stare, enveloped in the painful memories. Sinister Six decided to take one of his tentacles in her arm as a gesture of comfort, now realizing that there was more to her fellow villain than initially thought. From her hiding place, Cinderella couldn't help but shed a tear at Atenai's predicament. She was also greatly worried about Darkness. As from how Atenai described him, he was extremely dangerous. She prayed that the rest of the Taleblocks would be found before he could get to them. The Terrible Twos were helping to organize everybody into suitable rooms. Hansel, Gretel, and Little Red found the room that spawned bubbles and were happy to stay in there. The Twos didn't have the heart to tell them that the room was designed to terrorize somebody with a phobia of round things. As Terrible 2 Purple was sorting out the riot blocks, he realized that Twinkle wasn't among them. When he asked where she was, Nabold told him that Twinkle loved going out to gaze at the stars. Terrible 2 Purple knew that the other villains wouldn't approve of him getting close to Twinkle, but he couldn't help it. There was something about her innocence and cuteness that he adored. So he ventured outside and met with her on the hill she'd chosen to stargaze on. Her glow showed brighter than ever at night. The purple UFO rose out of the atmosphere. Its pilot looked over at his passenger, who was staring out in awe at all the sights around them. They were in space, and here they were truly among the stars. Twinkle cried out in delight. "Oh, thank you so much," she exclaimed, giving Terrible 2 Purple a hug that caused him to glow as brightly as her. "I never thought I'd be able to fly through space." She turned to look back at the cosmos, admiring all the stars and planets. The purple mask, too, was speechless, trying to subdue his glow after the unexpected embrace. Was he actually doing something nice for somebody? Love really did turn villains soft, but still it made him happy to see her so ecstatic. They were up there for a while, taking in all the bright lights around them. Then Terrible 2 Purple sat back, admiring the glow of his riot block companion, and accidentally leaned against the controls. The UFO was set plummeting towards the planet, and both blocks screamed as the two frantically tried to regain control of his flying saucer. Back outside the lair, Atenai and Sinister Six were prepared to go in for the night, having bonded a bit and now understanding each other somewhat better. Then the UFO stopped right above Atenai, picking him up in his factor beam. What the? A very confused Atenai was then divided into 4 twos, who were unceremoniously dropped to the ground. "Sorry, I lost control there," shouted Terrible 2 Purple. He led the UFO on a hilltop that helped a scared and dizzy Twinkle out. "Are you okay?" Twinkle quickly regained her senses. "I'm more than okay. That was the best." She pulled the two into yet another hug. "Thanks so much. Can we do it again sometime?" Terrible 2 Purple smiled. "Sure we can." Before Twinkle left, she had some parting words. "You know, you're not really as bad as you claim. I don't care what anyone says about you." As soon as she was shot out of earshot, Terrible 2 Purple was suddenly jumped by his amigo. "Are you crazy?" Terrible 2 Blue looked downright angry. "I told you that villains shouldn't fall in love, and now you're doing nice things for somebody so innocent." He spat that last word out like it was poisonous. "I swear you need to calm down about this," said Terrible 2 Purple. "I'm never gonna give up on making mischief." You said that. You say that, but just wait till you completely abandon us for her. And besides, what will Altonati's say about this? Altonati's got his own relationships and issues to deal with. Besides, you know I would never abandon either of you. Terrible 2 Purple meant this. Since the beginning, he and his amigo had been side by side, having fun playing whatever pranks they could think of. And when Altonati came along, they suddenly had someone bigger than them who they could look up to and who could protect them with his super strength and agility. It had been the 3 of them against the world for years, and that was something none of them would even think of giving up. After going back inside the lair, they suddenly heard someone cry out for help. Jackdaw had fallen into a trapdoor. Terrible 2 blue smirk. Looks like I forgot to lock that thing. To be continued. Well, guys, it's over. Hey! Oh my gosh. Chapter 3 is done, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I know. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Chapter 3 is over. So, yeah, that's weird shit. Bye, guys. It's over. Thank you so much for watching another episode of The World of Blocks. Day 87 of the National Show is already out. If you want to go check it out, the link will be on the top corner of the screen for you to go check it out. And stay tuned. We got 5 new episodes of Moshi Monsters Biography and 2 new episodes of Sammy and Killer Oranges coming out later today. So please, stay tuned to the channel. You do not want to miss out any of those. But with that being said, we're on time. Thanks for tuning in. I've been guys, you yourself, and I will see you all tomorrow with another new episode of The World of Blocks. Tomorrow on The World of Blocks, we continue the Book of Taleblocks with Chapter 4, Trouble Meets Its Match. So, I hope you're all ready for this. Can we see some more trouble? I don't know. Will the Terrible 2s Altonati and Citizens 6 make the move to put all the Taleblocks and Riot Blocks back into their book? We better tune in to find out. Tomorrow, I'm in the Book of Taleblocks Chapter 4, Trouble Meets Its Match. We will see you guys there. Until tomorrow, I'm Because Sanchez, ready to please leave a like, share this video with your friends, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, turn on notifications to miss the video. Please subscribe to notifications on to not miss another new video from me as we're on the road to 400 subscribers. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm Because Sanchez. Please take care of yourself and each other, and stay tuned for a quintuple header of Moshi Monsters Biography and a double header of Sammy and Killer Oranges later today. Like, favorite, subscribe. Please get your best bit of noodle, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Laters!